It's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
We've all seen it. What's going on between black men and black women when it comes to love and intimacy? Marriage rates have gone down across the board in the United States, but it has gone down a little bit more dramatically within the black community. Marriage rates have gotten worse too. Let's establish, marriage does not equate love. In the 1970s, we see a little over 35% of African American men are unmarried, and in 2020, 51% were unmarried. Trends were similar for black women, where in the 70s we saw around 27% of black women were unmarried, and now we're seeing a little over 47%. I want us to understand that there is a difference between marriage, love, and intimacy. Marriage is a commitment that you decide to make to another person in front of your God and your friends and family. My definition of love is an emotional commitment you make to another person where you hold their heart and they hold yours and hopefully protect it. And intimacy is a closeness that you feel with anybody. It doesn't have to be with your romantic partner, but it is preferred if you feel intimate with them. So intimacy doesn't have to mean sex. And sex can be intimate, but it also might not be. But remember, in looking at the data can hide a lot of underlying social currents. Just because people aren't married in the black community doesn't necessarily mean there isn't love and intimacy within the black community. For example, take the stat that around 70% of African American children are born to single parent homes. But when we look deeper, we also learn that African American fathers are some of the most involved fathers in the United States of America out of any racial group. So when we look at the psychology of that, children don't grow up to be well adjusted just because there are two parents in the home and that they signed a document and are willing to agree to stay in this relationship. They grow up because they have people in their lives that teach them how to be the best version of themselves, whether they are married or not. Involvement is important. And so I don't think these decreases in marriage statistics are the things that we should be focusing exclusively on. But my perspective is the area that we should be focusing on is intimacy. And one thing that is psychologically required for intimacy is vulnerability. And vulnerability is very difficult if you are dealing with a long history of trauma, and you can also inherit trauma from your ancestors. So from my perspective, it's not necessarily some men are from Mars, women are from Venus nonsense. It's not that women are too independent and don't know a good man when they find him, or men are demanding submission from women and can't expand their perspective to see a woman for who she is. Don't get me wrong, these are challenges. But at the center of it, when we have lots of trauma that we can't escape because we live in a system that is constantly traumatizing us over and over and over again, how do you sit in vulnerable intimacy with your partner and allow them to enter parts of you that nobody has ever seen? And in a way, society is telling you can't let anybody see. How do you actually build a relationship with another human when everything in society is telling you you're not worth it, you don't deserve it, and it's not for you? I think this is largely a societal problem and less of an individual problem.
I absolutely agree with what she's saying. It is the people who are around you, who raise you up, generally shapes who you are as a man and woman. Um, and I'm directly speaking at men because I'm a man, but I also have sisters who, like, one sister is married, long history with her husband. Um, and just speaking of her, uh, the way he treats my sister, had he had a son, had they had a son, I wholeheartedly believe that son would have been raised respectfully, to treat women respectfully, to lead, and all sorts of things. Like, all the good qualities a man could value is what I see in him, in my brother-in-law. Now, as far as women, I don't know. I have all daughters, but I think my daughters have gotten stepmama. What do you call it? Fatigue. They got stepmama fatigue. My daughters don't genuinely want a stepmother. In fact, they want me to be. They like, just chill, daddy. Just chill. You know, we don't need that. We cool. All right, we got it. And I'd be like, I'd be like, all right, but I still be, you know, still a man. But at the same time, you know, I can't out when they have women feelings. I ain't the best person for that. So I do have women around in my kid's life that are helpful to that nature of a woman. And so that's kind of how I had to just kind of shape my life rather than trying to be a all around father. Because I can't be mother and father. I can only be me. But I definitely can put the right women around in your life that will make you appreciate what I do as a father, and because they can be more explanatory to what your needs is. Now, if I had a son, well, actually, I did. I raised three stepsons. Was in their life for 8.5, almost 9 years. And in that time, all of them, they had all graduated. By the time me and the mom had broke up, they had all graduated. But for those years, they didn't see no violence in the home. They didn't see no hella arguments all the damn time. I mean, I don't even think we had many arguments because I don't even argue like that. Neither did she. But you just start to see. You saw all the good qualities that a man should do: taking care of the family, cooking for the family, doing things together, traveling, all the good things that a man and a husband and wife, we wasn't married, but what you would see in a committed relationship is what we showed them boys. Are those boys? One of them is grown, married, 2 kids. The other two are grown, living their best life, no kids, no issues, no woman drama. No woman is calling them narcissists. No woman is calling them abusive, because they didn't see that out of our relationship between the years that I had them from young boys all the way to grown men. They didn't see that. Now, was I the best man? I could have been better, but I tell you what, I didn't bring that home. I didn't bring that mess home. So they didn't see that. They didn't see drug and alcohol abuse. They didn't see the domestic violence in a relationship. They didn't see they saw two parents working together, whether it was bills, whether it was trips, whether it was school shopping, Christmases. They saw two parents working together to make the family happy. And mind you, I had three of my own and she had three. So, you see two people working together like that, you'd be amazed what a good, healthy home lifestyle will do to some kids.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.